Good evening. I hope this live stream has met you well. How are all of you so far? All 0 of you. There we go. Hello, 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 hello. Working on anything new? Yes, I am. Big doinks. What's going on, guys? God, I need to. There we go. So, my dog's barking in the back here. Guitar that I recommend. Well, I mean, I'm gonna recommend the guitars that the company that makes them for me because they make them for me. That's Halo guitars. Octavia 8-string is what I've been playing since World at War. Those dudes have been real cool to me. They make fantastic guitars. That guitar has held up through everything. So, you know, PRS, Paul Reed Smith, that's a good guitar. Favorite flavor Doritos. You know, my original favorite cheesy chip was Tostitos nacho cheese, like back in the early 90s. And then Doritos pretty much started tasting like them after that. I don't know if anyone's even going to remember that, but yeah. Ethereal guitars are awesome. Yeah. Do another Malmsteen cover. That'd be a cool thing. The one I did, I mean, I played horribly. It was Far Beyond the Sun. I did that for a college entrance thing, and when I recorded that video, it was months and months after, and I stopped practicing it. And it's so sloppy. Yeah, sir. My buddy, how are you doing, man? Uwu? Question mark? Uwu. Period. God, it's cold out here. I need to relight this too. Pardon me for just a moment. Do I sing at all? I do. Oh shit. Update my instrumental playlist. What do you mean? Update it with what? How was working with Clark Casanova? Interesting. He shows up one day and then disappears the next. How cold is it? Uh, not that cold. It's warmer than I'm embarrassed to say. Coming from the Midwest, I should be able to wear shorts and t-shirt, but I've been out here too long. Have I been in touch with Selena? Who's that? Who are we talking about? I feel like I'm walking into something. Alex says, Kevin, everybody loves you. That is not true, but I appreciate the sentiment, my friend. I'm looking for a job, sir. A lot of people are. You didn't know I made music other than rock? You might be thinking of the other Kevin Sherwoods. There's a whole gang. We're kind of like the people in the Matrix, where we get manufactured, or the people in Oblivion. Not the game, the movie. I'll relight this again. Hold on. I apologize to no one. There we go. Apology not accepted. Excellent. Country music, yeah. What's the what's the 8 years later? There it is. I was just about to ask the question, and someone already beat me to it. That's another Kevin Sherwood who writes songs. Super cool dude. Contacted me actually, and said some site was trying to pay him for my songs and wanted to let me know. Awesome guy. 8 years later is one of his songs. Look up that song, buy his album, be cool to that guy. He's an awesome dude, and he has a great name. A tab book of zombie songs. Uh, Mr. Freddy the Flash. I'm probably not going to sell a book, but on my Ultimate Guitar page, Nude Noobs, NEWD, NEWBS, I'm going to post as many tabs for free that you can download in as many forms as I can so that you can learn to play the songs. And I'm going to make videos. It just takes so long to do that shit that it takes me a while. I should work for Treyarch. Yeah, you're right. They'd probably like that too, huh? Song that was scrapped? Well, I mean, the dog song, technically. I mean, everyone kind of knows about that one now. That was actually just a. I was just writing something when we first came up with dogs. Like the first time we had a concept of something other than zombies in a map when we made Verruct. Like let's come up with another enemy type, and we didn't. I don't think we put it in there. We tried to, and we couldn't. And I wanted to make a song that would kick off when they came out, but when I did it, I was like, this is way too epic because they just came out. So there was just that thing I wrote up just to prototype it, and it ended up in the files. And when that happens, it ends up in the world. We got there, Last Gen. What's up, Last Gen? Right on, Kato. I gotta, you guys made me realize I'm doing this on my phone. I need to have like a TV monitor so I can see because I have to lean in like an old man and look at the messages so I can tell who you are. Will we hear more in Jack Wall? Jack Wall is going to be writing music long after. I mean, the dude turns out music like it's nothing. He writes stuff that's higher quality than mine in a shorter amount of time than mine. So I guarantee you'll be hearing his stuff. COD, not, doesn't matter. He's a pro. I'm not. I'm a kind of a hobbyist. Have I met Avenged Sevenfold? Well, I mean, Matt and those guys came in the beginning because they're just fans of the mode. That's what's cool about Avenged is they came in because they loved zombies and wanted to write something for it. And they came in and said, we love the mode. We want to write something for it. And they did several times. Jack Wall is badass. Hey, Jack Wall is also on Twitter. Make sure you follow him. Zombie Song was my favorite to write. I don't know, man. That changes all the time. Uh, I always want to have an answer to that, and I never do. I want to say Dead Flowers because it was the most difficult by far. Me and James Bacali, and it took us. We didn't think we were going to be able to finish it. We were in the middle of crunch. There's so many problems with it, and then we finally pulled it off. Juan, thanks, man. Doom music or you're talking about Mick Gordon. Mick Gordon's nasty as fuck. He's a good friend with the Jack Wall. That dude makes amazing music. Follow him, buy his shit, so on and so forth. Other songs I regret writing? No. I mean, I can only do what I can do, and once it's there, we start getting into philosophy there. Like, are there other universes? Pretty hooked on the gift. Yeah. Oh, 5. I've never even heard of that. Is that a real game? Pull off the lyrical stuff. Um, writing lyrics is, you just have to do what makes sense. And every single word you write, you go, does this sound stupid? And you kind of hope that it doesn't. But then when it comes out, it's impossible to say. What's the stream about? Oh, yeah, we have to have a theme to the stream. All right, chat right now. What is the theme of this live stream right now? Someone tell me. What am I talking about? I'll try to stick to it. I'll probably forget. Nonsense. Oh, yeah, it is nonsense. Okay, perfect. That's easy. Do I smoke weed? Rarely. I've never been, alcohol's always been more my thing, if I want to get altered, I guess you'd say. Blunts. Oh, this is good. I went into a cigar shop today. I never smoke cigars. I usually smoke pipe, and there was nobody in there, and I didn't even know this place was near me. And I bought a cigar, and he's like, "What do you want?" And he's showing me all this shit. I'm like, "Hey, what do you smoke, man?" He's like, "This over here." I'm like, "All right, give me 3 of those." Favorite zombies character? I mean, the Doctor. The Visitor, you inspire me to make my Fortnite zombies. I apologize. Hans, hey man, you got to work. Trust me. I know. How often does crunch time affect your? So there's an interesting question. How often does crunch time affect my zombies music? And I mean, the buzzword crunch is kind of a dirty word in the game industry over the past 10 years. But the truth to that answer is it affects it always. Deadlines have written a lot of the songs because I'm terrible. If I start writing a song and I have no deadline, I could take 10 years to write one thing. Not that it would be any better, but deadlines are a blessing in disguise. Blessing in disguise. Yes. Can we expect more zombies music from you? Well, you can expect more music from me, sure. Am I sad that something ended? No. Everything trudges forward. At some point, I'm going to grow old and die, and so will everything that you love and know. And that's how it is. Do you like guns? I love guns. What I like firearms wise? I actually really recently got into 3D printing guns. I can't remember the guy's website. I'll give it out later. These dudes who, you know, I hate the word activists, but they're guys who are on the forefront of 3D printing firearms, and they've made high quality ones. And I've been shooting guns since I was a little kid. It's part of our country. It's part of our culture. It's part of humanity, whether anyone likes it or not. So I do. How did I get started on working on zombies music? I wanted to be in music. I liked video games. Came out to California, became a tester, and once I got hired in Treyarch, I said I had a cool chord progression for Nocturne Toten and put it in the game. That's how it started. I wasn't planning on writing songs. I actually put my guitar away for like 2 years, and once that came out, they asked me to write a song for the riff, the death riff for Nocturne Toten, and it just kind of took off from there. Favorite zombies map? I always say Noct, and it's nostalgia. You know, I don't dislike any of the maps, but Nocturne Toten, the original one, was just, you have to imagine being there, world at war. We're working like crazy, just trying to prove ourselves as a company, and that mode is getting made. People are just doing what they can, and I was just excited about it. And I'll never be in another place like that again. Does that make sense? Have I ever done an Easter egg in any of the maps? Yes, many. You should ask Raffle Waffles. Please scream. I'm afraid not. Honduras. Nice to meet you, man. Hold on, let me scroll back a little bit. Okay, this is the quintessential. Why does Light from a Shore have no lyrics? We were just wanting to write an instrumental. You know, no other reason. Oh, speaking of Light from the Shore, the guitar player I featured in there, Timu Mantasari, is from a band called Winter Sun. You should check them out. They're like one of my favorite bands, and that's why I brought him on. I've been studying guitar with him. I've been taking lessons from Timu Mantasari to try and make me better. Would you love me? Of course I would. Love you too, man. Hello, X1 Sirius. Make music for movies. I'd love to do that. A24 is a production company that's been putting out things like Witch or Vitch, VVITCH, Midsommar, and I think they're one of the big new companies that's pushing stuff out. Mr. Justin, thank you so much. Oh yeah, so a lot of people ask me stuff about why aren't the songs on Spotify. Hold on. They go on Spotify if Activision Treyarch decide that they want them to be on there. I don't personally put them on there. If I make a personal album, it depends on who I'm working with. I'm not a big fan of Spotify in general. That's putting it lightly. But if I do stuff outside of the game universe, whether or not it will be on Spotify or not, it's hard to say. It depends on who I'm working with. It's one of those things. Drew the Bear, what's up, man? Do they fill you in on lore? Well, I mean, okay, so this is another question I get a lot is, do I know anything about the zombie stories? Well, when I write music, I work for Treyarch. So I'm a sound designer there, and I work on every single game from the beginning to the end. And we know the story because we're there the whole time. So I have to know the lore in order to write the songs. Oh, and don't smoke. It's bad for you. My God, I'm hitting my eyes with the smoke right now. Spill the tea, reveal the lore. Dream guitar. Actually, you're about to see my dream guitar in probably less than a month. Actually, I haven't said anything about this. Halo guitars have been with me since before Lullaby. Jeff and the dudes at Halo built me that first Halo, the white guitar, the 8-string you see all the time. And they approached me a year and a half ago, and I worked with Jeff, and I have a custom guitar that's going to be coming out, well, for me, in about probably less than a month. Hopefully, I'll be getting it to me. We'll see how it goes. And it's got a lot of cool features. It's built to my spec, and I'm going to make a video about it once it gets to me. I'm going to play a bunch of my songs featuring it, and you'll be able to build the same one if you want, or some of the features if you want. But they're great guys. They make great guitars, and that's going to be very soon. Let's see. What do we got here? Do you know any parts of zombies lore that you think the community hasn't caught on to yet? Yes. How's life been treating me? It's been beating the shit out of me ever since I've been born. Favorite part of my work is the songwriting, and the worst part is songwriting. Songwriting is a painful process. Do I name my guitars? No. Ever consider my own line of guitars to sell? Not yet. I barely have time to do anything, to be completely honest. Who do I like to listen to? That changes all the time. For so long, I mean, In Flames. There's a dude named Bryce Paul. He's a bass player of In Flames, and he streams on Twitch. But that band, I found out about it in college. Them and Soilwork. And In Flames, I think, has some of the best melodic death metal, anthem metal stuff I've ever heard. 115 is very, very similar to In Flames style. They were definitely an inspiration for that song. I love those guys. How do I come up for song names? Yeah, song names are a funny thing. I start writing, you know, part of it's the riff, part of it's phonetics, and then eventually you kind of get the lore combined with what sounds cool. And, you know, a song name is a lot. So I try to pick something I think sounds cool. Song tutorials, Mr. AFT47. I will. I'm sorry it's taken so long. The Damned Things featuring. Wait, what? Heard of the band? The Damned Things features Scott Ian. Oh my God, Scott Ian. So I always tell everybody Scott Ian has been interviewed on every possible metal interview, rock interview since I was a kid, like an MTV. Anytime they would have someone talking about something, Scott Ian would be in there. Scott Ian is a legend in the music business, and he's awesome. So anything he's in is awesome. Dark Trick UK. He works at Treyarch. He's one of the writers. He used to be one of the coders. Just saw Mr. Bungle recently, and Scott Ian and Lombardo were playing with him. Pretty cool. Will you eventually release tabs for every song? Yes. What? New Tool album? I haven't heard it. Did you work on the Avenged Sevenfold songs? No. Those dudes, they do their own thing. That's why they're big, because, you know, they do their own thing. They get a lot of flack too. I've noticed that. I don't know why. Why did you decide to play an 8-string? The truth is, I'm going to make this as simple as possible because Meshuggah, the same reason everyone else plays an 8-string. What was the first time you met Elena? She was a producer for Luxaflux. No, it was Harmonix before that. And my boss, Brian Toohey, you've probably seen, he writes a bunch of the songs. Worked with him, and she sang. And when I had to write Lullaby, I said, I don't have a singer. And he said, I know this girl who sings, and introduced us, and that's how it happened. Favorite Megadeth song? That might be Take No Prisoners. Justin, you're going to bed? Come on. Smoking is bad. Why do you do it? I don't know. How many instruments do I play? I mean, guitar is my primary. I play enough piano to know how to write for it, bass enough to support the guitar, and that's about it. Favorite Meshuggah song? New Millennium Side Nine Christ. All right, Justin, if you got to go to bed, man, you know, do what you got to do. Ever been in a room with every zombie singer ever? Yeah, I think so. Actually, no. Make a song with Cardi B? No. Do I play the zombies maps or just write the music? Yeah, I mean, we work on them. We make sound effects for all of them, so we played them all over and over and over and over, more than any human being on the planet. Well, except for maybe the Zombros. What am I smoking? Just a cigar from the shop. Recommendation from the guy who worked there. When was the first meet Maluka and Nova? Nova was right before Carrion, and Maluka I've known since college at Berkeley in Boston, so that was like 2002. Have I ever played Zombies? Yes. I need to start asking you guys some questions. Hey, everybody in chat right now, what is the zombie song that you hate the most that I've written? Carry On. That's tough. No one. You must hate one. Come on. Mystery. We All Fall Down. Coming Home. We All Fall Down. Yeah, I know. I think a lot of them were probably back that people don't like the most are probably the ones with Clark when he first started out. Before I kind of got a groove of what I knew his voice could do. Like, what do you think? Okay, the guys who hate Carry On and We All Fall Down, what do you think of Stormbound? Because I think that's really where we hit our stride, where I could write where with what made him sound good. And I'll be honest with you, actually, right, I'm gonna say this right here and now. Stormbound is probably one of the favorite songs I've ever written, and so much of it was accidental, and that's probably why. Because when I try to, oh shit, we got blubs in the chat. Stormbound doesn't make any sense musically. I have a bunch of friends that we like to analyze music, and we looked at Stormbound, and I admitted after the fact that I like the whole odd time thing and some of the harmony there. I want to say that I thought of intellectually, but I didn't. It just happened, and I don't know why. What was that? What's the heaviest song you've ever done? Heavy's a tough thing. You could argue Coming Home, but I think Stormbound probably is. What's up, man? Ham Helper Hunger. What? What's your name? Herger? Close enough. Oh, Argyle. Argyle. How often do I listen to zombie songs? Not very often. It's hard to listen to my own stuff. Any zombies music I've scrapped? Yeah, tons of it. I've got a lot of stuff left over that I'm going to probably build into songs later on. Mr. Visitor, based on the previous message, imagine Fortnite's Eternal Voyager killing zombies alongside Willow by Mystery is playing. Mystery is playing. Right on. Ever consider auctioning an Avenged Sevenfold guitar for fans? That wouldn't, that wouldn't be something I could do. Play tlou too. If they put multiplayer out, I will gladly play. Here's the question I have for all of you. YouTube's algorithm, which is now a dirty word, recently started, like, I get more hits on the version of Damned that Corey played on my channel than I do on Damned or any other video. All of a sudden, 115 used to be the #1 hit, and then all of a sudden it changed, and it's now #7. I don't know why. You know, in YouTube's infinite wisdom, that's the case. But tons of people tell me they get Corey's live playthrough of Damned in their suggestions. Have all of you gotten that? Have you seen that recently? Weird. Yeah, I mean, I get hits on that all the time. I don't know why. The song that took longest to make, I think Mr. Speed Polo. Yeah. The song that took the longest to make was Dead Flowers. It was just really complicated. James and I were writing that together, and it just, there's all sorts of problems with it musically that we had to iron out. And just, you know, there's problems like that always, but there are more in particular with this one. And finally we ironed them out, but it just took a long time. Yeah, what did you guys think of the instrumental of Coming Home? I know a lot of people don't like Coming Home from the vocals, and I wouldn't have changed anything. That's exactly how it should have sounded, but there's some harmonic coolness to that song, especially in the bridge, that a lot of people probably discount and don't listen to. But now that I was able to actually release the instrumental, I think you might like it. Ramaya says the vocals are my favorite. I wanted more screaming. Yeah, I get a lot of that from people who are into, what's it, deathcore, metalcore, and I've never considered myself a deathcore, metalcore writer. I just kind of do what seems cool at the time. Beauty of Annihilation. That's an interesting question. What's the difference between punk and normal rock? Well, normal rock, I mean, God, we're going to go into genre discussions right now. I can't get this to, there we go. What goes on in my head when I'm writing the songs? There's the lore. I have to kind of get myself into the, you know, there's no better term for this, the headspace of the characters in the story. And once I understand that, then I can start imagining if I was there, what I would think, and then try to inject that feeling into writing whatever it is I'm writing at the time. Sorry, did you donate? I'm sorry, man. I really appreciate that. Lubs asks, "Was the optimal song length? What do you think of the 8+ minute songs?" You know, song length is has a funny history. We actually studied that at Berkeley. Song length, you know, on the original records, literal records, was 3 minutes because that was the physical length that they could play. But now, if you look at my songs, I do. I'm formulaic to my own style, I guess, if you want to call it that, where it's intro, sometimes long intro, um, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus, outro, and that kind of dictates, depending on the tempo, the length of the song. How come most of my songs are on Spotify? I mean, whether they go on Spotify, it really isn't up to me as far as the zombie songs go, and yada yada. Your favorite's Dead Ended? Right on. You like Beauty of Annihilation instrumental? Right on. Will there ever be performances of the songs? I don't know. That's come up actually almost every single game, but it's hard for me to find a band to rehearse and get everybody around, and then it's I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. Chris Boy, man, thanks for the donation. Really appreciate it. Your Zombies music from Black Ops 1 inspired me to learn to play death metal when I was learning guitar 10 years ago. Ooh, oh my God. Thanks for being awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Hey, I know that dude. That's Mr. Crash Power. There he is. Crash Power's a good guy. You should give him a follow. Screaming vocals in Bowl 1 were good. Talk about Dead Again. All right, so you want to hear some real deal shit for Dead Again? So Dead Again, around that time, I fucked myself up pretty bad on some. This is stupid. I was trying to get myself healthy, from working so hard in games. So I started lifting weights a lot, and I started using some drugs to help in the gym. And they did something to my brain that started panic attacks 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I couldn't do anything after that. And Dead Again was written during panic attacks pretty much the entire time. So weeks and weeks of just waking nightmares. That's what that song is kind of about. It is what it is. Everybody's got something, and that's how it worked. Lesson learned. I'm not better now, but it's a little bit better. The meaning behind abracadabra, and is carry on. Who's this? Hembelper Herger. I love that name. Is carry on shadow nothing and answer the riddles and abracadabra. Abracadabra. Abracadabra is a song about questioning what death actually is. That's what that is. It's abracadabra is the idea of this death is magic. That's the one time it's said in there. That's what the entire thing is about, and the rest is questions based on that one line. And that's another thing I wrote in the middle of the night where I felt like I was the only person in the world, and I had to assume that the characters in the story were going through something similar because they're dealing with people who are coming back from the dead. And what actually is it? What is death? No one's come back from it. No one can tell us anything. And that's what it's about. The creative process of drowning. God, that's another tough one. That was so drowning. Here's an interesting thing, I guess, if you think it's interesting. Mystery, Shockwave, and Drowning were all written simultaneously because I had to come out with 3 songs. Normally, when I had to come out with one, and Drowning, I just wanted to go overboard, for lack of a better term, where I would just think about. Essentially, I was drowning in the ability to try to write something. It was the most impossible task, but I don't know. It's hard to say. I can only talk about part of it. Archangel is a song about mania because feeling like you're a conquering bringer of death is what mania kind of is. And that's what that was about. The thumbnails. No. Was this Chicken 1312? Did you actually make the amazing thumbnails on your music videos? Um, Lucas Vice, Vice Squad. You'll see him. I credit the thumbnail creators in all of my videos, so please look in the descriptions, and I give their Twitter accounts. Him and Mr. Pentek have made all the cool new ones that we've done, and dude's talented, makes them all, and I'm gonna have him doing a lot more work for me because he's awesome. What was the first song you made for Treyarch, possibly before or after Nazi Zombies? The first song was Lullaby for a Dead. Well, I guess I made a bunch of music in World at War, just in the normal game mode, before I actually made, like songs with vocals and whatnot. If there's a guitar in World at War and after, it's usually me. Mystery for the Win. Stefano's Random Stuff. Are there any songs you made for one map that got used in another one? Well, Dead Ended. I'm sure a lot of you probably, hardcore fans know that song I made for one of the maps in Black Ops 1. It was a riff that I made when you're on the battle on one of the streets. I always wanted to turn into another song, and when it came time, I made that into Dead Ended for Garud. Have you ever played Modern Warfare 3? I've played all CODs. Let me take a little drink here. Sorry. I'm not sorry. Question is, Matthew says, do you have any intel you could fill us in on regarding any future releases? Of course. Green and purple grapes. Purple. Can you please stream sometime? Yes, I will. I'm streaming right now. Would I have done Light from the Shore with vocals? No, it's an instrumental song. It's meant to be. Actually, that's an interesting question, though. Some of my favorite movies, Japanese movies do this a lot, or Chinese ones, where they have some really cool instrumental, and then for some reason they put vocals on top of them for the ending credits, and they always just sound fucking terrible, in my opinion, of course. In my not so humble opinion. But no, I would not make lyrics to a instrumental song. Although that's what I did with Lullaby for a Dead Man, because it was never meant to have lyrics, and then it did. So I say something and I might change my mind later. What is your position of people covering and remixing your music? It's cool. I mean, that's how. Well, okay. That's a simple question without a simple answer. That's how you learn to do music. Transcribing and learning to play other people's music kind of opened your mind up to how things can work. And if there's something you like, you should figure out how to play it, learn it. If you want to post it, do it, and then that will make you a better musician, I think. Was it your idea to make the Easter egg songs for the next map as the game over song? Well, that just kind of turned out, that was another thing that the deadlines actually did for us was um, I would come up with a riff with barely any time left, make it the death song, and then that would be my commitment to make that into a song later on. But eventually, the game got so huge that it was just impossible to take the time off to make it. So that's how we kind of stopped. Damn, you're really committed. Yeah, I suppose we're all obsessed. Everyone at that company is obsessed with their jobs. That's why we're there. How involved are you with the other modes besides zombies? The sound department, I work with, about 10 extremely obsessed and talented people who have to work on it. Anything that goes into the game has to have sound on it. So we do whatever we have to make it as cool as we can. And everyone cares about it and lays awake at night thinking about it. And we do what we can. Are there any Easter egg songs that has not been discovered? Well, not that, actually, yes, but not one with lyrics. My favorite guitar that I own, well, the Halo Octavia 8 string, the white one that you see in all my pictures, that's what I've used to write pretty much every single song that any of you know. So that one. What's the worst instrumental? I don't know. You guys, I'll leave that up to you. What is the instrumental you like the least? You hate Carry On? Which one? The Avenged or My Carry On? And why? It's okay to hate it. You can hate every song I've written. It's okay. That again is my least favorite instrumental. How come? You don't like? You don't like Clark vocals? Yeah, that going from Elena purely, he was the first one to be a change, and it was a drastic change. So, do you think I depend on COD? Yeah. As much as you can depend on your job, I guess. What's this? They found the 9 podium Easter egg song and the crowd wave. Oh yeah, that's not the one I'm talking about. Thanks, Darkness. Do you like Imagine Dragons? It's funny when they won the. I think it was the best mix album of the year. I had a bunch of Berkeley engineer friends, who had worked at various engineering studios. Were like, "Ah, what the fuck is this shit?" I don't know. I thought it was funny. Is that the real Blubs? Oh, that's the real Blubs. It's almost like there's lore, a reason behind Clark being introduced right after the moon. It's almost like that. You love Where Are We Going 2.0? Jack Wall. So Where Are We Going? I guess, what do we call that now? Blood of the Dead. Where Are We Going? That's all Jack Wall. James and I wrote Where Are We Going? And then so he took the composition and made a new arrangement, extended it out into a whole new thing. And so him and Cindy Shapiro, she wrote the lyrics to the new version and had Maluka sing on it. So that's all them. You should follow them, and it's a great song. Let's see, Mario Rocker 98. Hey Kevin, in the Easter 8 songs, did you use special strings and tuning on your guitar, bass, or did you use drop pedals? I've never used pedals for it. It's always been tuning, and you a lot of you probably heard me before say this, that I wish I hadn't changed tunings on so many songs, because if I ever have to play this live, I need to have like 6 guitars sitting there in different tunings in order to play them all. Dumb. That's my fault. Dead Flowers is good. Yeah, Dead Flowers. Let me ask you, what do you guys think of Dead Flowers? That's another song that is, I knew only a small percentage of people would probably like. It's all right. Top 5. Great. I like. Did it grow on you? Dead Flowers, when I first had it done, before it came out, I took it over to Matt Ullman, and I don't know, this goes way back, but he was the guy who wrote all the ambient music to all the Diablo games, Diablo 1. He worked there since Condor. Diablo 1, Diablo 2. In my opinion, Matt Ullman is the reason why ambient music sounds the way it does. If any of you know Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, like overworld ambient music, and he really dug it, so I felt good about it after that. He's a good friend of mine, amazing composer, good dude. What happened to the drummer after Archangel? Is that what I saw? Yeah. Ash from Fertile Lord. What happened to the drummer after Archangel? Did he died? No, that's Darren Seska. Darren, Darren, Seska, Cesca. That dude is a session drummer who plays in extreme metal bands and gets hired and goes on tour and teaches lessons and is nasty as fuck and amazing. I have a link to his channel from my Archangel video. You should follow him. He does a playthrough of his uh, drum performance for that song. Crash Power. Why did you have to complete what? Why did you have to complete Mystery, Shockwave, and Drowning at the same time? Oh, um, well, I mean, because we were putting out more content for Bo 4 than we ever had before, as far as zombies goes on ship. Usually we have zombie map, DLC, but that time we had a bunch coming out at the same time, and they all needed songs, so I just had to do it. I didn't mean, thanks, man. Interesting question. Hamburg, did you have any plans to add the damned melody to any other songs like you did with Abracadabra? I didn't have plans to add it to anything. It just, that was all Brian Toohey, actually. Matter of fact, Brian Toohey is probably the reason why I started writing songs at all. He told me to take the melody to Lullaby for a Dead Man and turn it into a song in the beginning. And I remember arguing with him. I said, I don't, that's impossible. I can't do it. And he's like, well, you have to do it. So I did. And then when Abra came around that time, I'm like, I have no ideas. He's like, just take Damned and do that. So that's why I did it. Chicken 1312. Are you going to change direction in your music or going to work on the music more for the next COD? Just curious. I mean, if I write anything else, I honestly don't know. It's always brand new the second I am faced with the task of coming up with something new. Lullaby's your favorite? Right on. Do I consider it lullaby for a dead man a tearjerker? No, no, I don't know. It's a song. It's a every single one of them. It's always weird to ask a songwriter a question because I've been in the same position where I'm on a, and I know from the inside now. But when I go to ask, I ask somebody, "How did you write that?" And as soon as I ask it, I realize, what are they going to tell me? You have to go into this place where you make something, and it has to be uniquely you. There's no other way around it. And when it comes out, that's how it is. Olivia says it's like a poo poo. Exactly, precisely. I've actually equated songwriting to taking a dump, where you take a dump, and if it ends up looking like James Van Buren, I don't think you can really control that. If you can, then you know you should be making money off of that. But for most people, including myself, I have no idea. You just have to kind of start doing stuff, and when it comes out, you recognize it, and then you take that turd and then you try to smear it into the Mona Lisa. How do I match the songs to the feel of the map? Well, I talk to the writers and try to get the vibe, get some buzzwords, and then spend a week or so just thinking about it and I try to write down feelings that you get, like nostalgia or longing or mania, and then I try to write things, and I practice just over and over, and all of a sudden something will happen. I'm like, that evokes this emotion. All right, let's write that down, and then go from there. Green says my favorite part of your songs is how you do wordplay and have stuff from the map, especially in the more recent one. Yeah, that's that's the fun part about writing lyrics, I think. Special comments about Dead Ended. That was the first song. For some reason, I never wanted to write anything in triple meter. Carry On is technically in triple meter, but I disguised it so it doesn't seem like it is. But Dead Ended is the first one I did that was straight triple meter, and I avoided it for so long, and I don't know why. And I finally am like, I'm just going to write a song in triple meter and not care, and that's what came from it. Thoughts on spamming the same comments? I like it. I like it. I like it. Am I scared for Treyarch's future? No. Blub says, I don't think zombies would have been successful without your music. All right, Blubs, I guess I'll let you in my next live stream. Flattery gets you everywhere with me. If you say good things about me, and I'll give you things. I'm very shallow. What's my favorite color in the alphabet? Q. Cigar. This is Oliva. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know much about cigars. That's why I had the dude at the shop. I was like, hey, man, what do you smoke? I usually smoke pipes. Kawa. Something Russian. I love you too, man. Do I smoke pot? Nah, rarely. Not for any reason. I just don't. Was the Dead Tello themes of the Black Ops 3 songs planned out? It just sort of happened. Just I have to find some inspiration somehow, so I just start doing stuff. Lowell Slash from Crash Power. Right on, man. How much do I make for these songs? Oh, what you mean money? It's all just part of the job because I love the game. I love the company. I love the people I work with. And it's just, I'm never going to be here again. We're talking about this at some point. I'm not going to be doing this anymore. And that thing that we've all been a part of will disappear forever and we'll never get it back. And I'm just happy to be a part of it. Oh, yeah, all of you. If you haven't already, follow me on Keybase. Hopefully, I have some mods in the chat who will give you the link, keybase.io/ksherwoodops. And I take a lot of suggestions for what I'm going to do songwriting wise in there. And I talk to people about music specifically in that chat program. And a lot of my music's in there. So please follow me on there. It's a good program too. And Mr. Pentek just gave out the link. So please follow me on there. I'll follow you too. I don't think I've followed 115 people on there yet. So, no. What's this question? Fury says, whose voice was it that said no when you're sleeping in the Shino Numa? Oh, that's a good question. You mean the whisper when you pick up the phone? I don't know. I can't remember. That's so long ago. I need to find that out. Hopefully, it was someone that we contracted legally. And if it's not, then I'm not going to tell you. Just kidding. Just kidding. To the guilds. It was totally legit. What's the meaning behind the gift? Actually, let me ask all of you. Someone asked me, what is the gift? When I talk about the gift, what am I talking about? I don't give away the meanings of songs because when songwriters do that, it kind of sucks. There you go. Someone's already called it out. There we go. The meanings of songs are what everyone presumes them to be. Even the songwriter shouldn't be able to change that. Would I make a customized Zippo lighter that has your logo on it? Why not? I wouldn't make the effort to do it. If they approached me, then I would do 1% effort in order to make that happen. Ash is asking, so from the point of view of your songs, do zombies want to kill or they don't want to, but they just can't resist? Excellent question. That I won't say for sure, but which songs do you think present that question? Because it does exist. Do I release drum tracks? I don't. I'm not going to release like individual tracks anytime soon. There's no plan to do that. Do I wish Treyarch still used your songs in gameplay trailers? Well, I mean, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. I want the trailers to be good for what their intended purpose is. So if that involves my songs, great. If not, then it doesn't matter. Do I name my instruments? No. Next game, what's that? Is it Lullaby 4 of a Dead Man? We copyrighted both. I actually don't even remember. Why was the tag song an instrumental? I liked it, but it was odd. Um, it, I'd always been meaning to do an instrumental, and we just kept making more and more and more and never did it, except for Undone, which was never meant to be an Easter egg song. And I just wanted to make something cool. Um, but when you make an instrumental song as a artist, God, I hate calling myself that. When you're normally making songs with vocals, you know a lot of people aren't going to like it and they're not going to expect it. So it is what it is. Uh, Talam, was it difficult to write music for two different stories with different themes? I mean, a little bit, yeah, because I mean, people expect certain singers to be associated with something because when you start something, they assume it's going to stay that way. But as many of you know who've been following me since WA, I change what I do a lot. And yes, it was difficult. That's the end of that story. Will I ever release all my songs on Apple Music or anything else? Probably not. But if you follow me on Keybase, as some of my mods may have posted the link, keybase.io/Ksherwoodops. What are some things you don't like about zombies? I don't like how shitty I am at it. I used to be good, and now I'm terrible. Before it puts hair on my chest. Nice. There's an interesting take. Green, to me, the singers are emotions. Clark is rage, Maluka's sorrow, and Elena is bipolar. That is a very, very interesting take. Also, some of you may know that I I search for people playing live streams of zombies maps, and I try to jump in anytime I can. So if you live stream and I'm on YouTube and I see your live stream, I will jump in there anytime I can. Make music for Mortal Kombat. I love Mortal Kombat. I don't work for them, so how you doing? I doing good. Whatever, hunting for Easter eggs with a good team. You would have to carry me. You'd hate playing with me. I used to be good. Wah, I knocked because I had just been a tester, so I was playing and I was awesome. Now I'm trash. I'm garbage. Garbage. You and Mick Gordon should collab. Yeah, I mean Mick Gordon's great, man. Mick Gordon is a fantastic producer, and the thing I like about him is he bought a 9 string to get a sound. It was just an instrument, and he didn't give a shit. He's like, I'm gonna make some music with a 9 string, and he did, and it was like, oh, here's an award for it because it's so fantastic. And here I am trying to write songs to make people like it, and he just does it without giving a shit. I respect that. But he's an awesome, awesome producer and composer. You have to remember, I'm not even really a composer. I just write some songs sometimes. 4 weeks, like go home, write this thing for this mode with no direction, just do it quickly and do it again and again and again. What moment scared you when playing zombies? It would have to been when I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to get all the sound in to make the game ship. What's something? Hold on. It's ethereal. What's something that's not about your job that you're passionate about? Oh my God, doesn't involve work. I don't think I have anything. Shit, my headphones are probably just dying. All right, I'm gonna end this stream because my headset's gonna die in a second. Yeah, I know. So thanks for coming out, everybody. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for being so cool and sticking with me for all this time. I mean, we're talking 2008, and I'll do another one of these soon. I know it's been a while, but so on and so forth. Love you all.